Today I'm here with a new TEDx CallAnnie ChatGPT interview. So let's start. मेरा मूड कुछ ऐसा हो जैसे आपका मोटिवेट है Okay, ChatGPT, my first question.
Hey there, how can I help you today?
My first question from you is what does I don't know mean to you? Give me long and detailed answer for 5 minutes.
Absolutely. So the phrase "I don't know" is a simple yet profound expression. It essentially means that someone doesn't have the info, but beyond that, it can also be a humble admission of our own limitations and a recognition that it's okay not to have all the answers. It can lead to curiosity, learning, and exploration. Plus, it's a statement that encourages open-mindedness and humility. So there's a lot of depth to it. If you want more details or examples, just let me know.
Okay, ChatGPT minus question from me is why do people feel scared to say I don't know? Give me long and detailed answer. You are giving me the short answer. Please give me long answer.
Got it. So when it comes to why people might feel scared to say, I don't know, it often ties into social and psychological factors. For one, admitting ignorance can feel like a vulnerability, and many people worry it might make them appear less competent or less knowledgeable. In professional or academic settings, there's sometimes pressure to always have the right answers, which can lead to anxiety around admitting when we don't know something. Additionally, there's a cultural aspect. In some cultures, being knowledgeable is highly valued, and admitting you don't know something might be seen as a weakness. On the flip side, though, saying, I don't know, can also be a strength. It shows honesty, self-awareness, and openness to learning. Overcoming that fear often involves embracing a growth mindset where not knowing is just a stepping stone to gaining more knowledge. So there's a lot to unpack, and it can be pretty fascinating. Let me know if you'd like more details or examples.
ChatGPT, my next question from you is it is okay to not have all the answer. Give me long and detailed answer. You are giving so short answer. Short.
Absolutely. I can dive deeper into that. So the idea that it's okay not to have all the answers is really central to personal growth and intellectual humility. In a world that's constantly evolving and where information is limitless, no one can possibly know everything. Embracing this idea can be liberating and can actually lead to more meaningful learning experiences. When we accept that we don't have all the answers, we open ourselves up to curiosity, exploration, and the willingness to learn from others. This approach also fosters a culture of collaboration. When we admit we don't know something, it invites others to contribute and it encourages a shared pursuit of knowledge. It can also reduce the pressure we put on ourselves and lower stress, since we don't have to pretend to know everything. Moreover, acknowledging that we don't know something is actually a great starting point for deeper understanding. It pushes us to ask questions, seek out resources, and engage in meaningful conversations. It can lead to innovation and creativity, because when we don't have a fixed answer, we're more open to new perspectives and possibilities. In essence, embracing the fact that it's okay not to have all the answers is an empowering mindset. It promotes lifelong learning, humility, and connection with others. It's definitely something that can enrich both personal and professional life. Let me know if you want to explore any specific aspects further.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question from you is when was the last time you say I don't know? Give me long and detailed answer.
That's a great question. So the last time I personally said I don't know was probably in a scenario where I encountered something new or complex that I hadn't come across before. For instance, it might have been during a conversation about a very specialized field outside my training, or when someone asked me about the latest research that hadn't been incorporated into my training data yet. In general, I find that saying I don't know is a natural part of the learning process. It's something that happens quite often when new information emerges or when I'm faced with complex or ambiguous topics. It's a way to maintain honesty and transparency. And it's also an opportunity to delve deeper into the topic and learn something new. In essence, it's a continuous part of growth and curiosity, and is something that keeps the process of learning dynamic and enriching. If you want more examples or specific scenarios, just let me know.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question from you is, do you think an unexpectedly help us learn? Give me long and detailed answer.
Absolutely. I think the idea of expecting help as part of learning is actually really beneficial. Learning isn't a solitary journey. It's often a collaborative process. When we anticipate or welcome help, we're opening ourselves up to different perspectives, insights, and experiences that we might not have on our own. When we expect help, it also fosters a sense of community and support. It can make the learning environment more comfortable and less intimidating. It encourages questions, dialogue, and the exchange of ideas, which can deepen our understanding. Moreover, expecting help means that we're more likely to seek out mentorship and guidance, and that can lead to more effective and efficient learning. It can also help us build meaningful relationships and networks, which are invaluable both in personal and professional realms. In addition, when we expect help, we're also more likely to help others in return, creating a cycle of support and growth. It's a reciprocal relationship that strengthens learning communities and promotes a culture of continuous improvement. In summary, expecting help is not just about receiving assistance. It's about fostering a culture of mutual growth and continuous learning. It helps us become more adaptable, more connected, and ultimately more knowledgeable. If you want to dive deeper into any particular aspect, just let me know.
Okay. Okay, ChatGPT, my next question from you is, why do we expect ourselves to know everything? Give me long and detailed answer.
That's a really intriguing question. The expectation that we should know everything often stems from a combination of societal, cultural, and psychological factors. For one, in many cultures, there's a strong emphasis on competence and expertise. From a young age, people are often encouraged to excel academically and professionally, and this can create an underlying pressure to appear knowledgeable and capable at all times. Additionally, there's a psychological component. Humans have a natural tendency towards self-confidence and self-preservation, and sometimes that manifests as a belief that we should have all the answers. It can be tied to our ego and a desire to be perceived as competent and reliable. Moreover, in the age of the internet and instant information, there's a heightened expectation that we should be able to access any knowledge quickly, and this can lead to a misconception that we should already know everything, or at least be able to find it immediately. Another factor is the fear of judgment. Many people worry about being perceived as incompetent or inadequate if they admit that they don't know something. This fear can push us to pretend we have all the answers, even when that's not the case. However, it's important to recognize that expecting ourselves to know everything is unrealistic and ultimately counterproductive. It can lead to stress, burnout, and a fear of failure. On the other hand, embracing the idea that it's okay not to know everything can lead to a more genuine and fulfilling learning journey. It encourages curiosity, openness, and continuous growth. It also fosters a culture where asking questions and seeking help is seen as a strength rather than a weakness. In essence, the expectation to know everything is a complex blend of external pressures and internal fears, but recognizing and challenging it can lead to a healthier, more balanced approach to learning and growth. If you like to dive into any specific angle more deeply, just let me know.
My next question
Absolutely.
from you is, does saying I don't know make you weak or strong? Give me long and detailed answer.
That's a thoughtful question. When we say I don't know, it can actually be interpreted in a few different ways, depending on the context and the intent behind it. In some cases, saying I don't know is a genuine admission of not having the information or the answer. It's a sign of honesty and transparency. It can also reflect humility and the recognition that no one can know everything and that it's perfectly okay to be uncertain. On the other hand, saying I don't know can also be a strategic or thoughtful response sometimes. It's a way to keep the conversation open-ended, inviting further exploration or discussion. It can be a prompt for deeper inquiry, encouraging others to share their knowledge or collaborate in finding the answer. In some situations, I don't know can even be a form of self-care, allowing us to acknowledge our limits and without feeling overwhelmed. It's a way to set boundaries and maintain a healthy perspective. Ultimately, this phrase, I don't know, is multifaceted. It can be a simple acknowledgement of uncertainty, a prompt for further learning, or even a way to encourage deeper engagement. It's a powerful tool that, when used thoughtfully, can lead to growth, collaboration, and the deeper understanding. If you'd like to explore more about this or any specific scenarios, I'm here to help.
Okay, ChatGPT. My next question from you is, um how can we stay claim we will feel yours? Give me long and detailed answer.
Absolutely. So making music a safe and welcoming space really involves fostering an environment where everyone feels comfortable expressing themselves. One key aspect is promoting openness and inclusivity. This means encouraging diverse voices and perspectives and making sure that everyone feels heard and respected. Another important factor is creating a non-judgmental space. So when people feel free to experiment and make mistakes without fear of criticism, it really encourages creativity and growth. It's also helpful to have supportive feedback where constructive criticism is balanced with encouragement and positive reinforcement. Additionally, providing accessible resources and guidance can help people feel more confident, whether it's through tutorials, mentorship, or just sharing knowledge and experiences. These resources can empower people to learn and grow. It's also important to celebrate diversity in music. This means embracing different genres, cultural influences, and styles. This kind of inclusivity enriches the musical experience and helps everyone feel valued. Finally, fostering a sense of community where people support one another, share their journeys, and celebrate each other's successes can really make music a safe and nurturing space. In summary, making music a safe space is all about openness, inclusivity, support, and celebrating diversity. It's about creating an environment where everyone can feel welcome and encouraged to grow. If you'd like to dive into any specific aspect further, just let me know.
What are you doing? Okay, ChatGPT, my next question for you
Of course.
is what's one thing you're still typing to understand? Give me long and detailed answer.
Absolutely. When we talk about one thing in the context of typing, it could mean a few different things depending on what we're focusing on. For instance, it might refer to the concept of touch typing, where we aim to type without looking at the keyboard, focusing on muscle memory or finger placement. Another angle could be about the idea of minimizing distractions and focusing on one task at a time to improve productivity and accuracy. From a more philosophical standpoint, it could mean focusing on a single idea or concept when we're learning or creating, allowing us to deeply understand and master that one thing before moving on to others. In terms of practical typing skills, it could also be about the importance of focusing on accuracy first before speed, ensuring that each keystroke is correct. Overall, the idea of focusing on one thing in typing or any skill highlights the benefits of concentration practice and intentionality, helping us improve both efficiency and quality. If you have a specific aspect you're curious about, feel free to let me know and we can dive even deeper.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question from you is why do children ask so many questions? Give me long and detailed answer for 2 minutes or 2 3 minutes.
Absolutely. So children are naturally curious, and asking a lot of questions is a fundamental part of how they learn and make sense of the world. From a young age, children are like little sponges soaking up information and trying to understand how things work. Their questions are a way of exploring and making connections between what they see, hear, and experience. One reason children ask so many questions is that they're building their cognitive skills. Every question they ask helps them develop critical thinking, reasoning, and problem solving abilities. When they ask why or how, they're essentially engaging in a process of inquiry that helps them understand cause and effect, patterns, and relationships. Another reason is that children are constantly trying to make sense of their surroundings. The world is new and full of mysteries to them, and each question is a step toward understanding how things function. It's a way for them to gather information and build their knowledge base. Moreover, asking questions is also tied to social development. Through questions, children learn to communicate, engage with others, and build relationships. It's a way for them to connect with parents, teachers, and peers, and it helps them develop language skills and social awareness. It's also worth noting that children's curiosity is often driven by their innate sense of wonder. They're fascinated by the simplest things, and their questions often reflect a genuine excitement about discovery and learning. In essence, children's questions are vital while their development. They reflect their curiosity, their desire to learn, and their need to understand the world around them. It's a useful and essential part of growing up. If you'd like more details or specific examples, just let me know.
From ChatGPT, I Like it's you in my next colony tragedy institute that Pakistan, Zindabad, Iran, Zindabad,